Zach here, full-time reseller, and I'm getting ready to spend a day out thrifting in southern Colorado in some of my favorite mountain towns. I'll do a haul at the end. Follow along. I'm outside of the Durango Goodwill, and this is the Goodwill that I thrift at probably the most next to my local thrift store. I just wanted a starting point, and because I can thrift here anytime, I'm going to keep my time here very brief, but it's a starting point again in a place where I might be able to find something to show you at the end of this video. All right, here's a good score right away. I'll look these over, but I will probably grab them. Another one. All right, and I've sold this exact print for about 40 bucks, so I'm gonna grab this. So this Goodwill does half off on certain colored tags, and today this is a half off shirt. It's North Face, it's a nice material. It's almost like a high-end cotton, and I'm just gonna buy it for myself because it's only $2. All right, so I came across this Vorme women's performance vest, and unfortunately it's not wool, but it is only $7. And while I didn't see any like this that have sold, there are several for sale, and the price is very good on them. So for the price, I might just grab it and take a chance on it. It's a great brand. But I want to share with you, I got into a whole host of very nice performance men's fishing shirts, and Simms is just a no-brainer. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop every one of these up, and it's starting out to be a good day picking. I'm into another Simms fishing shirt. This one's a great size. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'm gonna look it over, but definitely gonna grab Simms, one of my favorite hunting fishing brands. Just doing a little quick scan of some of the household item aisles, and gonna look over electronics and be on my way. This is a pair of men's cool convertible hiking pants. They're only $9.99. They're in pretty good shape. I'm gonna go ahead and grab them. So I came across this Osprey Camber 32 hiking bag. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. It's not a bad price. Definitely a great brand, and a brand I've sold in the past. So I found this pair of limbs, but they're kind of a small size, and one shoe is missing its laces, so I'm gonna think this one through. Try to run through the women's jackets, just looking for puffers and vests. All right, I'm extremely happy with what I found today. I'm gonna go ahead and check out and get back on the road. Been waiting for a day like this at this Goodwill, but super happy to come across some really great brands, some bread and butters, and hopefully it's gonna be a start to a good day.
1:13:16.
All right, once again, super happy with this haul. Definitely need to get down the road though. Want to do some exploring of some different mountain towns, see some scenery, eat some good food, and again, do some more thrifting at a few establishments I've never been to. But this is definitely a great start. These are all good brands. Spent some cash, but you got to spend money to make money. So this is Engineer Pass, and this is just north of Durango Mountain Resort. This mountain is very famous in the town of Durango, and one of the local breweries there actually has a beer named after it. It's beautiful, and it's a great place to hike for beginner to intermediate hikers in the summer months. You can start your hike at the base of Coal Bank Pass, and there's a parking lot there. I suggest it if you're out this way. So I have reached the summit of Coal Bank Pass, and as you can see, we're at above 10,000 feet. It's beautiful up here. I will, however, say though, if you're from low altitude, be cautious coming up this way. Trying to adjust and acclimate to the lack of oxygen can make you sick. So if you're in the town of Durango, seriously, pick up a can of some oxygen. It may help you if you start to get a headache or feel sick, because this is way up there. So as you can see, I have summited Mullis Pass, and it is just gorgeous up here. This is probably the highest, most widest point between these three mountain passes, but this area is just gorgeous. It's just scattered with mountains that are 13 to 14,000 feet, and not far from here is a Mullis Lake campground. Suggest it if you have the opportunity. Go camp with your kids, be a part of the outdoors, and get some of that fresh Colorado mountain air. I'm standing above the beautiful historic mining town of Silverton, Colorado. This town is north of Durango. It is gorgeous, it's very historic, and it is smaller. It is smaller than Durango, but it has this cool mountain town vibe to it. It's a great place to come spend the 4th of July, and they have an incredible fireworks show. And when you magnify the beauty of the fireworks up close with the reverberation of the sound off these mountains, there's no greater experience. You can also go north from Silverton up this dirt road to the town of Eureka, and it's a connector point to take you up on what's called the Alpine Loop, which is above Treeline Pass that takes you up through Engineer Pass and as well to the town of Lake City, and you can connect to that and come back to Silverton on Cinnamon Pass. And so it's just a cool mountain town. I love sharing my backyard with you. I've spent countless amounts of hours up here fishing, camping, and spending some of the best memories of my life with my friends and family in this area. I'm driving down the main drag of Silverton. It's a super cool historic Victorian town with some really great architecture. There's some great eats here, some really cool historic hotels to stay in, and again, some great places to see if you love the outdoors, if you love fishing, hunting, and off-roading. So come check it out. I feel like I'm being a tour guide or some kind of travel agent, but I just love Colorado. This is just a cool look at the Silverton City Hall, still in use since 1908. And then a nice little pan of the main street. Like I said, a lot of cool historic architecture and Old West saloons. Great place to come eat and drink and be merry. Currently about 5 minutes outside of the town of Silverton, and I'm heading north towards the town of Ouray. This section of the highway is truly the portion that is known as the $1 Million Highway, and up here is where it gets very beautiful but very sketchy, and there's some very sheer steep drop-offs on the highway, and I'll really try to stop a few times and point it out and give you some more of that beautiful Colorado mountain footage that I'm so fond of. So I'm now getting into some of the serious switchbacks that this road possesses. It can have some real mean spaghetti turns in it. It's what makes it fun. It's what makes it beautiful and exhilarating. And some of these sheer mountain drop-offs to the right of me is what makes me remember that I need to put my camera down and quit filming. So as I got a lot of road time ahead of me and some beautiful footage to share with you of the scenery, I wanted to talk a little bit more about why it is that I got into reselling. And it's pretty simple. I was pretty tired and burnt out with my job. And I think when I talk to a lot of other people that have gotten into reselling, that's a very similar story I hear. They were just tired of working for other people, tired of making other people's dreams come true, tired of answering to the corporation. And for me, myself, I had always dreamed of working for myself, but the $1 million question was always, what could I do that I could survive off of, that I could enjoy, that was lucrative, and that I could support my family with? And to be honest with you all, I just kind of fell into reselling about 14 months back. I decided I wanted to take a break from my medical job as a physical therapist assistant. So I decided to lean on a side hustle that I knew I could make some money with through the winter. And I just did so to take a break. As I was leaning on that side hustle I had at the time, I started fooling around with my eBay account, and it went from a hobby to a business very quick. And I will say this, that I put in a lot of research. I put in a lot of countless hours watching other YouTube content creators that were resellers, and I followed what they were buying and I studied how they sold. And that is a big reason I was able to find the success I had in such a short time. So as the cliche goes, you can never beat hard work. Hard work's gonna get you where you need to be. And so anybody out there that's watching this, it may not even be reselling, but if you're tired of your job, you're tired of your circumstances, you're tired of your situation, it's never too late to take on something new, something hard, something difficult and challenging. And on the backside of that, you'll find a great amount of personal reward and satisfaction. And so I'm so happy that I did this with my life. I have decided to keep my medical license active, but I hope that I never have to go back to medical work. I hope that that chapter in my life is done and over, and I hope I can continue to give myself to this because this is fun, this is treasure hunting, it's different, it's something new for me, and like I said, it's been able to grow me as an individual, and I love learning more stuff about reselling. But what it's also done is it's given me a better niche to target with my YouTube channel, and that was something I was struggling with when I created my channel about a year ago. I was bouncing around and I was creating content about different things, but because I
resell and I go out sourcing goods nearly on a daily basis, it just comes easy and natural to share the things I've learned and the things I do to have success out in the wild sourcing goods. And I love to share that with other people. And so I was just telling my kids the other day that I love instructing people and I love creating content on YouTube about reselling because it's a part of my old job that I kind of miss, where I got to teach people about mobility, about wellness, and about their health. And while that part of my life is over and I'm kind of overdoing that, being able to share my success and sometimes my failure and the struggle of reselling on YouTube allows me to share with others. And that's part of the give back. And that's part of what I love doing and why I continue to make content on this channel. But like I said, I'd like to get into more videos like this where I'm actually traveling, where I'm sharing the places I love to go, but also incorporating some of my work, which would be thrifting, maybe garage selling, estate sales, into those same videos. And I kind of like that idea that I can go anywhere I want and I can also still be working, because there's also always going to be garage sales, thrift stores, and things for sale regardless of where I go. So I'm only sharing this with you because I hope that it inspires you to get out there, do the things you dream of. Your life is only so long. You should go after those things. I'm here to push you and encourage you. If you need somebody to bump you or tell you it's possible, trust me, it is. I'm living proof of it, and I'm not that smart of a guy, but I definitely am disciplined and I like hard work and I don't mind putting in the hours. So as you can see, we're now heading down the mountain. This is where it starts to get kind of gnarly. The mountain has a bunch of sheer drop-offs that are 300 to 400 feet deep, and there's really no guardrails. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop footage. Trust me, I have my camera mounted. I'm safe right now. I'm not holding it. I decided that was a bad idea a few miles back, but I'm gonna cut footage. And when I stop up here in a minute, I'll give you a better view. We are now in probably the most dangerous section of the $1 Million Highway. And the reason it is called that is because it cost over $1 million to build a very small section of this highway way back in the day. And I forget when this was created, maybe the 1940s or 50s. Don't quote me on that. But with the primitive technology they had in those days, it was treacherous and painstakingly difficult and dangerous work to make this road at high altitude. And so while we're driving and it's kind of hard to see, to the left of me is a sheer cliff that goes down, as I said, about 300 to 400 feet. It's super, super, super deep. And again, there are no guardrails. And so it's not uncommon to see people hugging the yellow line and trying to stay as far away from that side of the road as possible when they're heading back down south. Fortunately for me, I'm on the north side of the road, or I should say the right side of the road heading north, and it's a little bit safer. You don't have the sheer drop-offs, but it's still a very exhilarating drive. It's gorgeous.
Look at the stretch of road I was just heading down, and as you can see, it very much hugs the canyon side of the mountain. We are way up here, I think probably above 10,000 feet or close to that, and as you can see, it's a pretty sheer steep drop off to the bottom of the canyon and the small river that runs through it. Standing above the beautiful town of Ouray, Colorado, and it's otherwise known as the Switzerland of America. Ouray is gorgeous and it has several very cool hot springs in it, but again, it has that old Victorian, old Scandinavian type architecture feel to it, and it's got some great eats, some very cool old hotels to stay at, and it's just really quaint and chill. I prefer this, and this is one of my most favorite mountain towns because it's got a little bit of everything, but it's just the right size. It's not too big. So definitely check out Ouray if you're on the trip. Stay a night, hit the hot springs, and get some good food. And that might be something I might do here in just a minute when I drop down on Main Street.
Down on the main drag in Ouray, just had to readjust my camera tripod for safety and legal ramifications, but this town is just gorgeous. And one thing I forgot to mention up above when I was looking down and talking about the town of Ouray is that this is a very world famous town for ice climbing, and right above the town of Ouray where I just was is an area called Box Canyon Falls. It's where ice climbers come in the winter, and there's frozen waterfalls all up and down this canyon, and these guys will take ice picks and They'll take shoes with like crampons and spikes on the bottom, and they'll climb these ice falls, and it's really cool to check out if you're around here in the wintertime. So I suggest it, but I just suggest enjoying the beauty of the town. It's got some great shopping, some great food, and it definitely has a cool mountain vibe to it. And the hot springs, there's several to choose from, is a must. So check out Ouray if you're down in this corner of the state.
I had Nate. I stopped at Culver's. I love to eat here, and I got a sourdough melt, some ice cream, and some fries with some nacho cheese and a root beer. Gonna want to fall asleep here in just a little bit.
And I'm in Montrose, Colorado. I'm gonna race in this Goodwill real fast, just see if I can't find anything.
Found this Patagonia hiking shirt, and it's not a bad price, and it seems to be in pretty good condition. Found this Carhartt quarter zip. It is the Force line, and it's in pretty good condition, and the price isn't too bad, so I might grab it. Found this men's 3X denim Sherpa lined vest. Still has the tag on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. There's a decent sell-through rate on it, and this time of year, this stuff sells. And some old school snow boots. Found this woman's area cardigan. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it because it's a good price. I hope that it's not missing buttons. I don't think that it had buttons, but it's a good price and it's a great brand, so I'm gonna scoop it.
So these beautiful mountains ahead of me are right to the south of where I'm driving, and that area is known as Owl Creek Pass, and that group of mountains is called the Castles, and you can actually drive up real close to them and see the structure, and it's always something I've wanted to do. That area is a little bit of undiscovered country, even though I'm pretty well traveled in this part of southern Colorado, but it's just gorgeous. I can't say enough about the beauty of Colorado and how special it is, and if you haven't been out this way, you need to get here quick. I have fast forwarded into the next day. I ended up having to cut my losses and come home yesterday. Some bad weather was coming in over the mountains, and I didn't want to be shanghaied about 120 miles away from home, so I ended up boogieing back. I did have my phone go dead on the way home, and I missed being able to film in a couple thrift stores in Ridgway, Colorado, but that's okay because I didn't really find anything in either of those stores, and nonetheless, most of what I found I did get footage of. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off this stool and go ahead and share with you what I found, what I paid for it, and what I'm hoping to sell it for.
So these bottom three shirts to the right, you're seeing the two gray ones and then the blue and white pinstripe shirt are Area FR work utility shirts. I did pay up on these a whole $7.99 a piece, but these shirts are great and I can usually sell them for between $28 and $34. They are a size small, which is kind of the worst size in men's, but that's all right. It's a power brand of mine. It's a bread and butter, and I have sold both of these shirts in these colorways before in various different sizes. Just got to be a little bit patient, and they will sell for what I want. And then above the two Ariat shirts, this red shirt here is a Sims fishing shirt. It is a plus size. I believe it's 2XL. I did pay up on this. I think it was $7.99. On these Sims button-up fishing shirts, I usually can get somewhere between $22 to $28, sometimes a little more depending on how new they are, if they're caped and vented, if there's embroidery on them, sometimes that devalues them. Nonetheless, this was a pretty clean shirt, pretty color, and a good size, and I'm hoping I can get a pretty good profit out of it. And then the yellow vest above, as I said earlier, was a Vormi women's performance vest. I think it is wool. I may have said it wasn't earlier in the video, but after looking at it, doing a little bit of touch test and looking at the fibers real closely, I think it is wool. And Vormi is known for good quality wool, and Vormi is made in Colorado, I believe. So go ahead and attach those made in Colorado keywords, put that in your description, put made in the USA, and put all kinds of good Gorp outdoor hiking, camping words to help get it more attention. That'll just help your sale. For this vest, I'm not sure what I'll get out of it. It's a very new style of vest. I did see a few for sale, but none had actually sold. So I'm thinking probably somewhere between $38 to $45. I'm hoping. Not the best color, but it is XL, and I like plus sizes in men's and women's garments. So I'll go ahead and take that. And then Right next to this vest, this is a pair of cool convertible hiking pants. These are the kind that zip off into shorts, and I can usually get a little bit more money for these. I sold these in the past for between $26 to $32 depending on size and condition, and these are a pretty good size. They're in great condition, a great colorway, and so I did pay up on these. I think they were $8.99. I'll take that all day because Cool is a bread and butter brand for me, especially their hiking pants. They just sell, and they sell well. And so now I'm gonna skip over this camouflage light blue Sims fishing shirt was $7.99. It's got a cool hit on the back of an outfitter from Crested Butte, Colorado with a beautiful trout, and that will devalue it a little bit, but there's a lot of anglers out there that actually really like the fishing shirts to have embroidery or to have outside outfitter companies tagged on the shirt. I don't know why that is. They don't mind, so it doesn't seem to actually take from them that much. This shirt here, again, I paid up for. I'm hoping I can get somewhere between $24 to $28 for it. It is a newer style. And then down below, this is a Sims G4 button-up fishing shirt. It is vented, caped, whatever you want to call it. It's super cool. It's lightweight. It's a very performance material. I haven't looked this shirt up yet, but I imagine, again, it'll probably get me somewhere close to $30. I did pay $7.99 for it. When I thrift in my local area, I have to pay up because there's just not a lot of thrift stores where I live. And even traveling up to Colorado, which is shy of an hour away from my house, I found exceptionally good brands up there all the time. But you got to pay the boss to be, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. That's what I was trying to say. And so nonetheless, I love Sims. It's a bread and butter brand. It always sells for me. And then down below is another Sims men's fishing shirt. It's a 2XL, and it is got a few little spots on it. So I'm gonna hit it with some OxyClean spray, hit it with some OxyClean powdered detergent, let it soak for a few hours, maybe even let it soak overnight. And I've had tremendous success getting stains out of fishing shirts, hunting shirts, and especially work utility shirts that might have grease, oil, paint on them. And never in my life did I think I'd be so good at cleaning outfits and garments, but that's what I do for a living. And here's another Sims shirt. Again, both of these have spots on them. Both these white Sims shirts do. Again, that's going to take from them if I can't get the stains completely out, but there's still guys out there that'll pay for them. So on these, I might get somewhere between $18 to $24, maybe a little bit more depending on how clean I can get them. They are both 2XL, which helps the cause. And so as you can see, all these items here I sourced at the Durango Goodwill, and Durango's thrift stores are very pricey, but Durango is a very good place to thrift. There's very quality garments, and as I've said in past videos, Durango is a very affluent community. It's full of highly educated individuals like lawyers, doctors, engineers, and I thank them for donating all their premium and designer clothing brands because I've been making some really good money off of all of it. So thank you guys. Now I'm gonna slide over here. This is all the clothes I sourced in Montrose, Colorado at the Salvation Army, and there was a considerable reduction in the price of goods up there, which made me happy. I'm not sure why that is. There's a lot of thrift stores up there considering the size of the town, and it just might be a competition thing, and it's a more blue collar town probably than Durango, so maybe that helps. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, I can't wait to get back up there and explore a few more of the thrift stores, and might even go see a good friend in Grand Junction. Grand Junction also has a handful of thrift stores and a Goodwill, but I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. This is an Ariat cardigan. I only paid $5.99 for this. At my local thrift stores, this would probably go for $8.99 to $10.99, if not more. Ariat is a great brand. I haven't looked this up, but I'm hoping I probably can get somewhere between $30 to $40 maybe. That might be pushing it on the upper end, but definitely think I can get around $30 for it. Didn't pay that much for it. It's beautiful. It's got that Southwest design, and it's a power brand. It's one of my bread and butters. And then here's my partner in crime, my business partner, my go-to. This is the brand I sell the most of, and this is from the Force line of Carhartt, so it's newer. It is a quarter zip. It had a great sell-through rate, and this was only $4.99. A shirt like this in Durango or at my local thrift stores would probably run $7.99 to $9.99, so it was a no-brainer to pick it up. It's very clean. It's a nice black color and a decent size, and this brand is my favorite. It's the one I sell the most of. And so here I have a Wrangler. I think this is a vintage Sherpa lined vest. It's 3XL. I like those big sizes. And it still has the tag on it inside. And I think I paid $5.99 for it. And so again, a vest like this with a tag on it at one of my local thrift stores would probably be $10+. I'm hoping I could probably get somewhere between $32 to $35 for it. And this time of year, vests that are Sherpa lined, regardless of the brand, just sell well if you use the right keywords. Now, this is a Patagonia fishing shirt, super beautiful. I only paid $3.49 for it. It was the first shirt I found at the Salvation Army store in Montrose. So it really was nice to start off with a power brand for a very low price. Got excited about it. And then before I forget, this shirt up here I got for just a couple dollars. It was 50% off, and I did get this at the Durango Goodwill. It's just a sleeveless North Face workout shirt. One of the benefits of reselling clothing is that my own clothes and my own clothing collection has gotten a lot better in the last year, and I'm grateful for that. I don't mind wearing secondhand clothes, especially if they're clean and they're in good condition, and especially if they're a great brand. And so just wanted to mention that as kind of an honorable mention. And then lastly, I picked up this Corningware 6-cup vintage enamel coffee pot. I have sold this before like 3 times. They generally will sell for about $22 to $24, and I'll tax some shipping on it. This one's in okay condition, but it was only $2.99. It was sitting right by the checkout when I paid for the clothing in Montrose, Colorado, so I just couldn't pass on it. But nonetheless, this is my haul. This is just a few hours of thrifting. I paid way up on all these items, but these are all power brands. They're all brands that I've sold in the past, and I like selling things I've had familiarity with and had success with in the past. So thanks for joining. I know this was a little bit different video. I hope you enjoyed some of the beautiful mountain views. I love to share where I'm from and the things and the beauty that Colorado holds. If you're in this part of the country, reach out to me. I'd love to meet up. I'd love to give you some advice on where to go. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you and gave you some insight, and it helps your reselling endeavors. If you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or subscribe.